Do-do-do-do. Sometimes I need this caffeine, to be able to pass my message across properly to you guys. So that's why I had to do that. Anyway, you're welcome to my channel. Susan here, and today I'm going to be your tech sis. Today I'm going to be talking to you about tech jobs that do not require coding. Before I go on, I would like to welcome you to my channel. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Or if you're returning to this channel, maybe not a subscriber, I'm still getting the hang of this intro. But yeah, thank you for coming back and thank you for watching my video again. It's good to have you here. Please, I would encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in content that is related to tech, faith, and lifestyle. And also drop a comment and like this video as well. So the reason for talking about this is because there is a common misconception around the fact that you need to know how to code to work in tech. And in fact, that is not true. There are so many roles in tech that you can be involved in or you can take up without necessarily knowing how to code. There are so many people out there that don't want to get their hands dirty, don't want to get into coding, right? And that is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to code or not having the interest. I don't think everybody's cut out to do so. I feel like some people just want to take a different direction. So yeah, we're going to be talking about those roles. Let me reemphasize, or let me say this again. You do not have to code to work in tech. Again, you don't have to code to work in tech. And I'm going to be talking about the different roles that you can take up if you are not, interested in coding, but you want to work in tech. The first one I will be talking about is the project manager. Now, the project manager basically they manage the team, right? They are in charge of getting the business requirements. I talked slightly about this in my last video on what I do as a software engineer. So what they do, they get the business requirements, they understand what that is, what that implies for the team, they create the vision, they communicate with stakeholders, they collaborate with different members of the team, they set milestones, deadlines, okay, maybe not deadlines, but yeah, they set milestones based on what the goals are. They also help to manage deadlines, right, within the team. So they define the scope of the project, they schedule, and delegate whatever tasks need to be done, within that project. Now, you find that a lot of project managers actually come from totally different backgrounds that are unrelated to tech. Project managers come from business backgrounds, arts backgrounds, totally unrelated. So you don't have to have an engineering degree or have some coding experience to work as a project manager in tech. There are actually people who also believe that you need to have some sort of technical experience to work as a project manager, specifically in tech. While I understand where these people are coming from, because there's a possibility that people who have this mindset have worked with non-technical PMs that gave them hell, right? Because they did not really understand what the kind of work they were doing, right? However, I am of the opinion that you don't have to, have coding experience to work as a PM in tech. I have worked with PMs that were not technical, so to speak, and they were excellent at their jobs, right? They did it perfectly well. They carried the team along well. They were not, micromanaging, so to speak. So, yeah, I think the core skills for a PM is, communication skills, people skills, ability to take ownership of the project, things like time management, leadership skills, decision making. These are the core skills that a PM needs to have. The salary of a PM differs depends on your experience, your location, so many factors involved. But on Glassdoor, the average salary for a PM in the US is somewhere between 120,000 to 125,000 USD. And the next role is the UX designer role. When you go to a software application or when you visit a website, you see how it looks, you see how what the experience is like for the user before somebody actually creates the code that allows you to be able to see and use this app. There are people that actually create the prototype, create what the experience will feel like for the user, create different um, ideas about how the user will perceive and use the app. These are the UX designers. So the UX designers ensure that the app is intuitive across devices. They ensure that the flow is seamless. The user understands the app. The app is valuable to the user, at least with minimal help, ideally. And so the UX designer is all about, building the storyboard, the mock-ups for what the app will eventually look like. And they also make use of tools like Sketch and Figma and so many other tools, right, to produce this. So I believe that the main skill for the UX designer is to thoroughly understand the user's needs and be able to meet those needs using their design skills, essentially. The average salary for the UX designer in the US is about 100 to 101,000 USD. So another key role that is important in software teams is the quality assurance role. It's also known as QA. So the QA role involves testing a product to ensure that it matches specification, and it not only matches specification, but it also accounts for edge cases that might not be clearly stated out. For example, making sure that the app works on old browsers, making sure that the app works well on mobile, because obviously the experience of mobile and desktop is slightly different. So making sure that that is covered and properly tested. Also, there are so many crazy things that you wouldn't expect users to do with your app, but they are very much likely to do. So the QA should be thinking ahead also of all the possibilities, all the things that the user may want to explore on the app, and make sure that all those are working perfectly. So testing is a very critical part of the software development lifecycle. We want to make sure that we are building products that are not defective, that work as they should. If I go to an app and I click on something and it's opening something else, there's a very high chance that I won't go back there. More so that I won't put my credit card on that app because I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, that's why it's really important for you to have at least a team that is testing your software. Typically, software engineers test their code, before it goes out. Your code should be tested, and things like that. But there's a huge difference when you're the person writing the code to match a particular functionality, and writing tests to make sure that it works well. There's a difference between that and, being the person that is literally looking for bugs, right? Your job is to look for the bugs. So it's like QAs, they're not concerned about, the app works well. Yeah, that's fine. That's like the bare minimum, so to speak. So what they are actually actively and aggressively looking out for is what is wrong with the software. So there are teams that might not have QAs, right? And there are teams that do. So for some small teams or startups, you might find that they do not have a QA team, but technically you should have a QA team to properly test your software. So, and in some cases, I find that I've actually worked with some QA guys that write code, which I found quite interesting. But for the most part, I don't believe that as a QA, you have to write code to work in tech. Okay, so the next role I'll be talking about is the tech recruiter role. These are the guys that actually give you an offer as a developer when you get into the company, right? The tech recruiter's role is to provide support in filling in tech positions within a company. So their job is to work hand in hand with hiring managers to, write the job descriptions, to give you information about the role, to set up interviews, to set up video calls, whatever that might imply for the kind of interview you're doing. Also, when you get the job, their job is to also, say, hey, welcome to dot 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 company, and let you know your offer and things like that. Your job is to negotiate your offer as well. If you want a higher pay, those are most likely the people that you're going to be talking to about that. You're not going to be talking to the CEO about your higher pay. You're most likely going to be talking to the tech recruiter. So they are the ones that will be doing all these things. They're the ones that will hand over the paperwork when you eventually decide to take on the offer. I know I'm saying you, like, I expect you to be a software dev, because technically most of the people watching this don't want to actually write code. But it's okay, just in case you fall into any of the categories, right? So this is what the tech recruiter will do. Some skills that are necessary for anyone that wants to be a TC, a technical recruiter is, communication skills, verbal and written. You need to have negotiation skills, people skills for sure. You need to be able to persuade people to join the company, and things like that are key for a technical recruiter. So the average salary of a technical recruiter in the US, again on Glassdoor, is about $82,000 USD. More caffeine. This coffee is cold though, just in case you're wondering why I'm drinking. It's like, it's water and stuff. Okay, so the next role I'm going to be talking about is marketing, right? And marketing is super important in any technical team, because if you build really good software and nobody knows about it, then only you and your family members are going to be using that software, right? So the job of a digital marketer is to make use of the digital strategies, right, to create content that would build some awareness, build some trust about the brand of the product, right? So as a digital marketer, you might not necessarily need to know how to code and whatnot. However, you need to understand very well how the technology is used, right? How people are using it, because you would need to get some knowledge on how users are, using this product, where they are dropping off, what is making them buy, what is making them not buy, right? You need to understand the analytics around that, because you need to be able to help the business to grow their users, right? So these are things that the digital marketer would be involved in. This is the role of digital marketer in tech. So some skills that the digital marketer needs to have are things like attention to detail, communication skills, of course, ability to learn new things and to use new tools, ability to analyze data properly. Yeah, and the average salary for a digital marketer is also about 82,000 USD on Glassdoor. I'm sure that applies to the US. These are some of the roles that you can work in tech that do not require you to be good at coding or to have any knowledge of coding, in fact. So if you want to work in tech, you can consider taking these roles, look them up, look at the one that matches your interest, that probably you've had some experience with in the past. I have a friend who just got a job in Shopify, as a technical recruiter, and she was working in a company that wasn't a tech company before. So there are so many people that are making these moves right now that you can also make if you're interested in working in tech but not coding. So I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that you can work in tech without knowing how to code. I hope you enjoyed my video, guys. Drop a comment about what you learned and what more videos you would like me to do, whatever questions you have about this video, and I will see you in the next video.